Hi guys, welcome back. And we are going to be doing investigation on our oldest documented haunting, a 4th century BC cold case file from the ancient Athens. I think I said that right. I'll sh- I I'll show you how the ghost in chains became the blueprint of future investigations and reveal its amazing incurrent connections to Charles Dickens. So watch till the end. Everything is going to be time stamped, by the way. So you can go, so I'm gonna go, yeah, so you can go straight to the thing. But first of all, as always, we're going to do a protection and focus prayer. So before I touch these cards, well, I'm touching these cards, but you know what I mean. I ask for protection from Eric, my guide and gatekeeper, and to the viewers watching. We are here to read the energy of the story, not invite the energy of the story in. I maintain a shield of light around myself, my viewers, and this sacred space. Only pure adultery truth is allowed to flow through these cards. I'm now ready and open, and so it is. Now, before I begin, I did do like my normal dowsing dowsing to choose a deck, and interestingly enough, it picked the haunted house. The haunted house, which I thought was ironic. I mean, I was gonna see if we could get Beetlejuice onto the table, but it said no. Well, anyway, we're going to go into the history and then we're going to do a spread around it. So, yeah, because I quite enjoy listening, reading about the history and then doing a spread around it. So, for the past, we're going to look into the past and the root of the cause, right? So, this is allegedly for entertainment purpose only. But let's look at the evidence. The haunting happened in ancient Athens, but the story was recorded by the Romans. The bargain house was so notorious, the price was dropped to be exceptionally cheap to rent. The haunting was so famous in the Athens that it constantly drove previous residents away and ruined their health. This spirit was trapped there, showing its deep connection to a serious injustice that has been ignored for years. Okay, so now we're going to pull some cards to see what the injustice was. What was the root of the injustice? So what was the root of the injustice? I should have brought my things out. So what was the root of the injustice? I'm going to pull 3 cards here. And I'm going to bring my investigation things up. There we go. Oh, dear me. Uh-oh. We've got some dodgy stuff going on here. 2 people was involved in this. There were snipings going around that was around the ghost at the time. We got the moon card. I feel that's the moon card here. I really do think that's the moon card. So we've got but anyway, it feels like secrets was, so the root was there was some secrets, stabbing in the back. Maybe not necessarily not necessarily 2 people, but there was someone close to the ghost that was being snipey. Look, we've got the 5 of Swords as well. So there was a lot of conflict and arguments going on around there. there was also some jealousy, I feel, with this guy. Okay, so feels very rooted. So what was the motive behind the ghost death? Because he was found, he was found in chains. So what was the motive behind the ghost death? What was the motive behind the ghost death? I feel it was jealousy, and it was I feel it was connected to a love affair. We got the Knight of Cups here. Okay, tell me more about the Knight of Cups. There was definitely more than one person that was involved. He was blamed for something that he didn't do. Whoever this person was, they could coerce the enemy. They could coerce the enemy. So they had a very element of charm to them, where I feel the ghost man was a very quiet, subdued man, an honorable man. Someone wanted control of the narrative here. They wanted to take it all. Yeah, they wanted to take it all. That's how I feel. This spirit was very confused and he wasn't aware of what was going on. He wasn't aware of these stabbing in the back that was happening. You know, it was like built up, boiling anguish that was going on. Someone was very jealous of what he had, and he coerced other people to get what they want. So there was an injustice here. What was the most energetic detail about the ghost? What was the most energetical detail about the ghost that history books have missed? I feel it was partners. I feel it's partners. I'm just getting, I was innocent. They accused him of stealing. They accused him of stealing. And he had no way out of it, but he didn't do it. Someone was jealous of what he had. And I feel it was emotionally with the King of Cups. I think there was a new demise. So to get him out of the picture, they put accusations in place. Nice people. So there was a few involved, but there was an accusations going on. Okay. Interestingly, though, this didn't go. I mean, was it a crime of passion? Because he was, he was found. So I just feel, what happened to the spirit? What happened to the spirit? I feel like this is the build up to the story. What happened to the spirit? This was coerced. I always see this card as like there was a number of people who knew of this, and I feel it's like partners. Now I'm not talking about like finance, like work college, so this guy was very smart in what he did in his work, but I do feel like there was a love affair. There was someone, or maybe it was that he was getting more attention, so this person coerced others into believing that he was a traitor, which then things got out of hand. He felt pushed into something he didn't want to necessarily do. Mischievous, isolation. He come isolated to the incidents because no one believed him. The person that was mischievous shouted the most. So there was murder on the mind. Okay. Now the investigators who did this, right? Now, the investigators, a laureate, he was a philosopher believing in logic, the key move. When the clang chains got louder. So the ghost, right, used to scare a lot of people, but he would be changing his chains, right? Which would freak people out, which would freak anybody out. And I expect you're starting to see the connections with the Charles Dickens now. But yeah, the solution was directly result of his so he was very, so the guy moved in. He was a bit like unsure of like, wow, why is this house so cheap? So he had his suspicions at the time, but he took the place anyway, right? And I can't pronounce his name, unfortunately. So it was really difficult but when the ghost was clanging his chains, he did the unthinkable. He tried to ignore the ghost. He actually waved his hand and told the ghost to wait. So the ghost was trying to get his intentions, and this guy wasn't running where the rest of everybody was running before, people that lived there before. This guy wasn't. So he took a calm, logical approach to it. So the ghost led him to specifically spot. Being the clever, he was immediately marked the spot with the grass and leaves. The very next day, officials dug and found the ultimate proof, the skeleton of a man still bound in chains. And get this, in this whole story comes from a letter written by a high-rank Rome author lawyer, a censor named Pliny the Younger, and he wrote about this 150 years later, after the actual discovery took place. He used the case to prove, or as a proof of spiritual word for serious debate, because the spirit guided this gentleman officer to his his bones, his body. I'm curious, why Athenodorus, I think that's pronounced right, why Athenodorus wasn't scared. Why wasn't he scared of this ghost? Why weren't he scared of this ghost? I mean, was he spiritual himself? Has he had previous things in notion? I mean, it says about logical thinking, a logical approach, and we've got the King of Pentacles who has got that logical approach. That's crazy. And then we've got like the Wheel of Fortune. So I think he had an open mind. I think he was very open, very connected to stuff. And he was open to the I think he was just really open to the aspects that there could be inlined connections. I want to go back to the childhood. I'm being drawn back to the childhood. So I feel like he had experiences in his childhood that was questionable at the time. So I feel like he had previous experiences that altered his mindset. To the underworld. Yeah, look, see, to the underworld. He didn't class himself as a psychic or a medium or anything, but he had experiences in his childhood. So that's why he didn't fear the spirit, because he's already, so I would say he was a medium personally, a psychic medium. That's how I would see it. We've got the High Priestess here. So he was very connected to the spirit world, especially when he was in his younger days. So he could approach his intelligence and his intuition skills to create, to work on a solution. So rather than fearing it, he was logically thinking, why does this ghost wants the connection? What is this ghost wanting from me? We're tuning in here. So what was the significant event or the ha-ha moment that led to the clue of the man in chains? I mean, bless the man. I feel this man was murdered by his peers, who he worked for. I think he was accused of something. I feel Oloris had a dream. I feel he connected to the ghost on an emotional, intuitive level. And I feel he had like a vision. So it's hard to explain when you get visions, because when I first started out, I'd be like, well, I don't know, you just get pictures in your head. But I feel like, look at the moon, we're looking at the moon. So I just feel like emotion, he was connecting to the emotions. So he was feeling this distress from the ghost. So he didn't feel threatened by the ghost. He felt more, he had an intuitive knowledge that there was something more deeper going on. And this is where he wanted to investigate it further. So he connected to the spirit on an emotional level as well as an intelligent level. And Oris, as clinical minded, he also wanted to bring the truth to the matter as well. So I feel like this Oris was a very honourable man, which brought that revolution there. So that's what led to the clues. I feel like I do wonder if he was dreaming as well, like having, like having visions of like the past things and the connections, and that's what brought the clarity to him, which could offer that service to the ghost. So yeah, interesting. Okay. So what was the previous tenancies actually sensing or feeling that drove them away? Because this is different kind of energy. Personally, I think it was the lack of understanding how things worked. And I think Athenodorus had that link. But let's see what the cards say. Really interesting. They've got like the skeleton and just out of the chains and that. I wonder, is they didn't want to open the door. They were too fearful of it. They was like, sod this. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna find something else that's gonna give that foundation. They weren't happy in the home either. I don't feel that they were happy in the home. So we got major things going on. They just wasn't spiritually connected, and they weren't connected. They didn't find joy in the home. I think it was creeping them out anyway. The home testament of aspects was just creeping them out. Okay. So as you know, here was the fact that eventually, apparently how it went was that once they found the bones, then the spirit was laid to rest and it didn't come back after that. It was like it was done and dusted. Okay, so and then So we're going to look at like the final verdict of that, of how the home felt afterwards. So did the home feel lifted afterwards? Did the home feel lifted afterwards? Oh yeah. Yeah, there was definitely a renewal of it. It became more of an investment for this gentleman. And once the story broke out, people were starting to be more interested in the property because they wanted it for themselves. So this story became quite a legend in its own right here. So what key lessons did Pliny, who wrote the book, what did the key lessons, what did he want to influence his Roman friends? What was he trying to teach through the lessons of this? Was it just in curiosity? He just wanted to bring a light. He just wanted to bring a light that there's more to this world than just what we've got. He wanted to show that there was more to investigate, more to be aware of in the world. That so I do wonder, I mean, like, there's no dot het, so this is allegedly. I wonder if like his deep-seated one was like of lost loved ones, and maybe he experienced things with his lost ones once. And I got a mothering figure here that was active. So I wonder if he lost his mum at a young age and she would steer the pot a little bit. So I feel like this person, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because when you get into this kind of spiritual world, it's usually generally that you've had experiences when you were a child, you know, unexplained stuff, and that's what gets us in, you know, intrigued with it. I don't know if you've experienced, you know, you've had those experiences yourself, and that's what he wanted to sort of like change that change that there's more out there, whether it's good or bad, there's more out there, and that, you know, messages just come across from loved ones or people that need our help here. Okay, so what can we as people learn from this haunting? I mean, it was the first documented haunting, and I'm sure there would be, you know, some would disagree, but oh, you can have all the fine things in life here. You can have all the finer things in life. He looks bored and discontented. We can still get lost. Our guides are here to support us. Oh my God, look at that. They creep me out, they do. Our guides are there to support us. I think it's talking about having more of an open mind. Yeah, look, see? They're everywhere. I hate to break it to you, they're everywhere. I seek him there. I seek him there. If we ground our energy enough, we'll be able to tune into what we don't see. And I swear that everyone has experiences at some point in their life, but some just denies those experiences. But as humans, we can home into it if we wanted to. The key to the door is there. The key to the door is there. You've got the key to unlock those secrets. Everyone's got the ability to connect to their loved ones, and it's just that you've got to find your own way on this. I think I'm going to leave it as that. Let me know your thoughts on it. It was a bit of a weird one, wasn't it? I got a creepy one for you next time. And that is the black-eyed kids. So watch out for that one. Now, I promised you a weird connection, didn't I? So I think you probably got the gist of it anyway. But this adds another fascinating layer. Did you know there was a massive 1,700-year gap between Pliny's Roman documents and the most famous modern version of this story? Now, this is going to blow your mind even more. Charles Dickens wasn't looking for a spooky fun. In 1843, he was consumed by social emergency, the mass of poverty, and the cold, cruel greed of wealth in Victorian London. He was desperate to force people to change, but how? This is the no way moment, right? This is just like really think. Dickens came across the ancient Ghost in the Chain story and realized it was a perfect blueprint. He thought if the Roman ghost was trapped by a physical injustice, improper burial, my ghost needs to be trapped by moral injustice, greed. The upgrade he took the ancient idea and upgraded it. The ghost's physical chains became Jacob Marley, chains of cash boxes. This showed his audience that Marley was changed by his own lack of compassion. And here's the fun fact. Dickens was so consumed by this moral urgency that he wrote and published the entire book in just 6 weeks to rush the message out by Christmas 1843. Isn't that weird? I thought it was really weird. So you think back to like how far that ghost story point and how it was affected in different generations, yeah? So the power of the ghost chains in this core injustice, whether it was physical or moral, will always demand actions to set the soul free. So if you want to, so I did this is like the freakiness, is that last year I done a Christmas theme, and I actually done a Christmas carol spread representing the ghosts. So I'll put that in the in the description box if you're interested to watch that, because I didn't know any of this until, Eric, my thing, we were like thinking of ideas of like, and I said I wanted to do a haunted house, and then I asked about, what was the first documented, and this is what Eric come up with. So I'm going to do a closing down spread. Let me know your thoughts on it, how you think it is. I think it's very interesting. Sad how it ended, and no doubt, in my mind, I mean, obviously the spirit made peace. If you can hear snoring, that's our storm. he's on the bed snoring his head off, bless him. So anyway, I give thanks to Eric and my spirit, and any spirits that came through to give us messages of clarity and truth. I'm now gently and firmly releasing the energy of this reading, especially any fear or dark energy related to this legend. It's clear it's sealed and it's not invited to stay. I ask for a final blanket of peace, grounding, and protective light to surround everyone, watching. Sorry about that. You're safe, you are protected. Go forward with light, and I'll see you on the other side. And so it is. So yeah, thank you for sticking around, and thank you for your patience, because I still get this ball ache with these cards, and it's like I haven't got me flashcards to sort of help me with the numbers. So we've winged it, we winged it, we got it sorted. So yeah, we worked it out. So anyway, I'll let you go. I hope you enjoyed it just as much as I did. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. And if you stuck around, thank you.